Hello everyone, it's Matt from @Physio with Matt, and today we're going to tackle a little how-to on morning mobility. As you all know, mobility is a great way to feel better and move better throughout the day. Some of the benefits of mobility training are increasing your joint range of motion, feeling better throughout the day, and of course preventing injuries and aches and pains both in the gym and out of the gym. Mobility training is a great way to avoid having problems throughout the day, and remember, another benefit is that you can do it anywhere. So here we're starting with a hip and lower back combined mobility drill. As you can see, knees stay close to each other, feet come off the floor as you're going up and down, and just trying to maintain shoulders on the floor at all times. Ankle to knee is going to be the progression of the next movement. As you can see, the ankle moves onto the knee, and this gives a deeper mobilization and stretch of the hip capsule. Just work on pushing your knee down towards the floor and work both sides. This time we're moving into a higher drill, so the back is closer to the knees and you're just focusing on taking your knees down towards the floor. At all times, the ankle, the bottom of the foot, is staying down on the floor. The progression of this is to take one knee down at the floor and at the end position and push the left shoulder towards the right knee, and then the same thing on the other side. Once again, this is a progression of the previous movement. We're then doing the same thing on the opposite side, taking the right shoulder down towards the left knee. The next drill moves on to all fours, and we're going into a simple yoga position called Cat Camel. Over here you're focusing on taking your belly button down towards the floor and moving the hips up and down. This is a great little drill for relieving low back pain or stiffness after a long period of time sitting down. We're now moving into ankles towards each other, knees apart, and taking the bum down towards the ankles and coming back down. We're now moving into a seated drill, progressing off from the floor, and we're going into what's called anterior and posterior pelvic tilt. Although the chest looks like it's doing most of the movement, in reality it's the pelvis moving forwards and back. You want to have your hands on your pelvis to feel that movement going forwards and backwards. Great little drill as well. We're then progressing into pulling the knees towards the chest and just spending a couple of seconds holding that position. That's a great reliever for any low back pain or stiffness that you might get both in the morning or after a long day of sitting down. Go nice and slow on the way down and hold for a few seconds at the top. The next drill is a thoracic spine rotation drill. As you can see, it's all about keeping the leg and pelvis stabilized and moving the arm from one side to the other. This is going to be a great opener for the thoracic spine and one of my favorites before any rotation-based training. This is done on both sides and movement is completed all the way through. Your head should always follow your thumb, moving from side to side. Another great rotation drill is called the Deejay Rotation. So basically you're just taking your elbow towards your elbow and then moving up as high as you can. At all times you're staying on all fours and just focusing on that mid-back rotation. Go slow and then progress the range of motion with every movement. We're now moving into a lunge position. You want foot pulled up towards you, squeezing your glutes and tummy towards each other, and then rotating either way. So this is a great mobilizer for the hip flexor, especially if you're constantly keeping your core and hips engaged. So squeeze towards each other. The rotation should be slow and progressive. Never trick your brain or try to push too hard. Always move slow and progress the movement gently. Progression to this is going to be a single arm opener where you're rotating towards one side only on the open side, so rotating away from the knee, which is up. This is focusing both on the hip area and the mid-back, so it's also a thoracic spine opening drill. We're now moving from the thoracic spine into the neck. Neck mobilization might not be the coolest thing in your exercise routine, but it's a super important part of keeping the spine healthy. As you're seeing here, we're going through a number of seated neck mobilization drills, just looking to hit all the ranges of motion of that neck movement. As you know, as I say all the time, if you don't use it, you lose it. Here we've set up into a quadrupod, so all fours neck mobilization drill. Basically, we're just using the movements we used in sitting, but in all fours, which makes it a little bit more challenging as you're working against gravity. For more advanced mobility users, we can use these drills, whereas beginners would need to use those in sitting. Again, we're looking at the protraction and retraction drill, which is a great mobilizer of the spine.